It was 32 years ago today that I lost my husband and his father to the sea. And I'm not going to cry in this video because goodness knows I have cried enough in the last week. I've gone so many years, 32 years a widow. Not anything I ever expected. It wasn't supposed to be that way, or I guess maybe it was because here I am, 32 years still a widow. But I was thinking about, first of all, my eyes may be a little bit puffy. I've done a lot of crying for the last week because this anniversary has hit me really hard, and it's for several reasons, some unrelated reasons. And so I've just leaned into it. But I was thinking today of what I would like to share with you regarding grief. And I was thinking about, after I lost Russ, the village that surrounded me and how I could not have gotten through those first weeks, those first months without this village. Keep in mind, my husband's body wasn't found. And so all of my assets were frozen. And there's a whole miracle story there. But what I want to talk about is the importance of having a village who can be with you in times of loss. And then to tell you what I woke up and decided I'm going to do this morning. So, yeah, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to give you some good information. When I lost Russ, I was president of Virginia Beach Toastmasters, which is a public speaking leadership organization. We were members of a local non-denominational church. Russ was very involved in the community. He worked. I was a stay-home mom, but I volunteered at my son's elementary school. I was in a Bible study, and Russ was plugged into the community in some civic organizations and leadership. And so we already had this village that we were connected to. And I'll never forget some of these people, and there are people I'm going to forget, but I just want to mention a few people that were so comforting to me, and it meant so much to me when they showed up after we lost our husband and father. Trentwood Elementary School. I'll never forget Glenn Barr, my friend Glenn Barr, the PE specialist at the school then, who was also head of the SCA. He was the SCA sponsor. He was one of the first ones to show up with a platter of food from the school. That meant so much to me. I'll never forget Lynn Ashmore. God bless her soul. She was a longtime second grade teacher at Trentwood, and she was Jamie's teacher the year that Russ was killed. And that woman went into motion to get counseling to make sure that Annette McFadder Johnson, who was the guidance counselor that Jamie had, could just go to her office anytime. And she was wonderful too, Mrs. McFadder Johnson, just there to comfort my son and to take care of him. I'll never forget my Toastmasters Club, especially Allie Matheson, Judy Pascal, friends of mine. They really surrounded me and my children in love, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for the church we attended at the time, Virginia Beach Community Chapel. We were very involved in that church, and all summer, people would come. They would babysit my children occasionally. They would bring us meals 3 times a week, and the cards, the letters of comfort were so beautiful. My neighbors surrounded us with love. My neighbors, the Dexters across the street, took Jamie, made him the little ball boy. I guess that's what it was called for the Cox football team because their sons were playing football. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget my friend Perry, who so gently, in her most wonderful way, said to me one day, "Amy, I see you have a little weed problem. Would you like for me to pull your weeds?" We had this rose garden that was planted by the previous owners, and it was beautiful. It wasn't huge, but it was very beautiful, and Russ maintained it, and my mind wasn't there. And one day, I looked at it, and the weeds were just so tall. They were taller than the rose bushes, literally choking the life out of the bushes. And quite honestly, it was a metaphor for my life, for what I was going through at that time. And I'll always be grateful for Perry coming over, getting on her knees, pulling weeds, taking Rhett one morning a week for several months, and taking him somewhere so I could have some time to myself. And then my dear friends, Wes and Yvonne, who now live in Australia, they stood by me from day one. My friend Mike Valentino. I'm just shouting out to some people that were part of my village. My friend Mike Valentino, who was one of Russ's dearest friends, an award-winning bodybuilder. He came up. He was at both services, the one in North Carolina and the one in Virginia, and stood by my side. I will always be grateful for all those people and for all the people I did not mention, and please forgive me. Here's my point. We all need villages. And there are people who are not plugged into anything. They're not plugged into church communities. They're not plugged into civic communities. Maybe not even an established neighborhood. And we need that in life. We just need that in life. But I tell you what, those people will rally around you in times of loss. So keep that in mind. Now, let me tell you what I said this morning. I got up, I cracked open my journal, I wrote a few lines thanking God for the marriage that Russ and I had, the children we created. But I decided this is a real, the last week or so, for different reasons, has been a pivotal time for me. And I have decided, starting today, that I am going to introduce one new thing into my life each day, regardless of how small it may seem, how large it may seem. I'm going to introduce one new thing, whether it's reaching out to a new contact to introduce myself to them, whether it's reconnecting with somebody, trying something new. We'll see. Need to make my little list. And the other thing I'm going to do is get one thing out of my house each day, maybe a few, because I need to clean this house out and prepare it to be a home for somebody else at some point. So that's my plan. Yeah, I'm okay. Going to do some yoga today. I didn't schedule any appointments, although my hairstylist did work me in late this afternoon, so I will do that. But I hope you have a great day. And remember what I said. We all need a tribe in this life and then when we lose somebody. So that's my message. No tears. Have a beautiful day.